It had only been a month since our lives changed forever. After 2 long years of paperwork, psychological evaluations, sleepless nights, and prayers whispered into empty bedrooms, my husband Samuel and I finally brought home our daughter, Amara. She was 4 years old. Petite. Observant. She had the kind of eyes that looked too wise for her age, like she had read too many sad stories too early. The orphanage director called her quietly brilliant. I remember how she clutched a worn-out stuffed lion and refused to let it go, even as she sat in our car on the way home. She didn't cry. She just stared out the window as if waiting for someone to run after her and say, "Sorry, that wasn't meant for you." But she was meant for us. I was sure of it. Samuel and I had tried everything to have children. From fertility treatments that drained our savings to adoption waitlists that tested our patience, we held each other through every rejection letter and pregnancy loss. When Amara's profile came up, something clicked in both of us. Her file was thin, barely a paragraph, but her picture lingered in my mind. The moment we met her, she didn't smile. But she didn't flinch either when I bent to her level and asked, "Can I hold your hand?" She nodded slowly. And that was enough for me. At home, I dove into motherhood like I had been waiting for it all my life. I let Amara pick the color of her room, sunshine yellow. I learned how to do tiny box braids, even though I tangled her hair more times than I got it right. I cooked every meal with her in mind, even shaped pancakes into hearts. I was prepared for tantrums, nightmares, setbacks. What I didn't expect was silence. She clung to me. She smiled sometimes. But around Samuel, she shut down. She kept her distance. Her little shoulders tensed when he walked into a room. She avoided eye contact. Once, when he knelt to tie her shoelaces, she flinched. Not noticeably. But enough that my breath caught. Samuel noticed, too. He didn't say much at first, just started taking a quieter approach, giving her space, offering without demanding. But the ache in his eyes was unmistakable. He adored her already, even if she couldn't see it yet. Then one afternoon, everything shifted. I was folding laundry in the living room. Amara was sitting on the rug, brushing her lion's matted fur with a broken toothbrush we let her keep. Out of nowhere, she stood, walked up to me, and tugged on my sleeve. "Mommy," she said softly. I smiled and crouched. "Yes, baby." She leaned in, as if sharing a secret. "Don't trust Daddy." The words were so calm. No fear. No anger. Just a warning. Like telling me not to drink hot tea too fast. My heart stopped. I held her small hand. "Why, sweetheart?" She didn't look at me. She looked at the lion. Because Daddy's leave. There it was. Not a fear of Samuel. A memory of someone before. We knew very little about her past. Her birth father had abandoned her at the front gate of the orphanage at night. A note in his handwriting said, "She's better off. I can't protect her." No name. No return. Amara had carried that loss in silence. I pulled her into a hug, tears rising to my eyes. "Sweetheart, this Daddy. He's not going anywhere. Not ever." But I could feel the doubt in her tiny body. That night, I told Samuel everything. He didn't speak right away. He just sat there, staring at the floor. Then he nodded. "Okay," he said. "Then I won't ask her to trust me. I'll show her she can." The next few weeks, Samuel became her quiet protector. He started writing her tiny notes each night before bedtime. Just small things: "You're brave. I like your lion's hairstyle. I made you a purple sandwich." He left them by her nightstand with a small doodle. A smiling lion. A stick figure Daddy waving. A flower. He began sitting nearby as she played, never too close. Sometimes he read aloud while she colored. Other times he'd hum a tune softly while cooking breakfast, the same tune he'd hum when she fell asleep on the car rides. He never forced affection. He just made room for it. One Saturday morning, she was sitting on the front steps with her lion in her lap. Amara walked out with a cup of tea and sat 3 steps below her. Amara stared at him for a long time, then asked, "Why do you write me notes?" He smiled gently. "Because sometimes hearts take time to talk. So I send mine first." She didn't respond. But that night, she tucked one of his notes into the lion's paws. 2 months passed. Then one evening, I walked into the living room and stopped in my tracks. Amara was fast asleep on the couch. Amara lay curled up on his chest like a kitten, one thumb in her mouth, the other hand gripping his shirt. Her lion was tucked between them. That moment did something to me. The next morning, when I gently woke her up, she blinked at me sleepily and said, "Mommy." "Yes, baby. I think maybe this daddy is real." My throat tightened. "He is, Amara. He is." 6 years later, she's 10. She still has that lion, though now he wears a patch Amara sewed on himself when his ear started falling off. And beside her bed, she keeps a framed drawing she made at school last year. 3 stick figures, me, her, and Amara, with big red hearts over our heads and the words, "My forever family." Below her drawing of Amara, in wobbly handwriting, she wrote, "This daddy stayed. And he did. He always will." And that brings us to the end of our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Thank you for watching.